Hey, welcome to Bits of Java. Let's talk about the common array algorithm of finding a max or min value. So to find a maximum value, basically you have to create a variable to store the current maximum value to keep track of what the best value we've seen so far is. And usually what we'll do is initialize the value to the first item in the list, because the first item in the list you've seen, if you've only seen one item, it's the biggest number you've ever seen. It's also the smallest number you've ever seen. We'll then loop through every item in the list, and if there are any items that happen to be bigger than whatever the biggest one we've seen so far was, we'll replace it. We'll replace the max value with the current value. And then at the end, we'll return the maximum value. Now here's the question, would this work if I said int max equals 0? When would this not work? What if we had a list of numbers that said that were all negatives, like -1, -5, -2, and -4? If this were the case, then the value of max would stay at 0 the whole time because none of these numbers would be bigger than max and we'd be returning 0. So that would give us an incorrect answer. So we can't just say that it's going to be 0. We have to either choose the first item in the list. If we did that, it'll be -1, and we're guaranteed that the maximum value would be, -1 here. This was the biggest number in the list. Or we can choose the worst possible maximum value we can have, the smallest number available. Because these are ints, integer.min value is about -2 billion or so. So no matter what we have in the list, unless every single number in the list is also integer min value, one of these numbers will be bigger than our max. So we'll get an accurate value out of the max. If we do this with objects, here I've got the array list of earthquakes, and I want to find the biggest magnitude. I'll again set the max to be the first item's magnitude. And then I'll loop through all the earthquakes. If that particular item's magnitude is bigger than the max, then I have a new maximum value, and then I'll return that max. The minimum is very similar, except instead of seeing if the value is larger than our max, now we're seeing if the value is smaller than our min. Then we replace the min, and then return the min at the end. Now, working with doubles, we can't use integer max value or integer min value. What we can do is we can use, for the max, the worst possible number would be double dot negative infinity, because all numbers in the list should be at least bigger than that unless every single number is negative infinity, and that would be the max. Similarly, the min, the worst possible minimum would be double dot positive infinity. Those would work. Still, safest bet is just to grab the value of the first item in the list, and you should just do that. You can get fancy and try the minimum value or maximum value, but if that confuses you, just run with the first number in the list.